Okay, I have to show you something because this is, clearly it's impossible light, but I also want you to pay attention to the character of this light. It's appearing underneath a covered walkway. This is supposedly the sun that is still, remember, it's setting over the blue house, third-party facilitating venue, and it's still here. It's hours later. It's currently it is 11:59 a.m. This is the light source that's over. Again, sunlight does not, the sun that's above us, it's a downward trajectory of light. The entity engages in what is bending light underneath covered structures. This is for purposes of stalking with light. This is the entity that wants to touch me. Okay, this is another, again, another iteration of the ongoing sex offense, touching you for a criminal purpose. In addition, pay attention to, not only is this impossible light that's reaching underneath, doing the gymnastics with engineered light, look at the shape of the light. When you see it here, it's entering into the doorway and it's taking on this square-like shape. The entity engages in this engineered light. It takes on the shape of what it's touching, okay? And this is clearly an inexplicable adjustment of the shape of this light. I'm just paying attention, I'm just pointing out to you the type of detail that you should pay attention to. This is not normal light. And it's for some reason taking on this weird shape while it enters into the apartment and going around the corner and then bending at an angle for some. And it's all impossible under all circumstances, but I just want to point out these details to you. The entity is engaging in, as you saw before, bouncing off and then appearing on the walls and all this stuff. This is the light right here you see on the ceiling. Has nothing to do with sunlight. This is all impossible light. This is demonic. This is letting you know the demon possessed surround you and you're under surveillance. Okay, the demon possessed engage in this iteration of stalking with light when they cross path and then light is appearing out of nowhere, moving across surfaces. I have documented the people of the state in hundreds of vehicles engaging in what is the impossible, engaging in what is the group stalking conduct, the outward demonstration of demon possession while they are crossing path. They do so while placing an engineered light inside of your private space, inside of wherever you're located. You see it also inside of my office. And then as I walk in, that's accomplishing the same criminal purpose as a demon that's crossing path and light is moving across surfaces. They accomplish this by aiming light into and surrounding you with it, and while you walk in around it, that's accomplishing the criminal elements of monitoring. All right, this is speaking to what is impossible light inside of the private space. This is a documentation of what is the sex offense, and again, I will remind you about a specific timestamp while the light source is not only remaining here, rising, and still here in alignment to my apartment. Now that I've walked to my apartment, there is no sun that's over the Ontario Town Square that I'm going to be able to capture while I'm on the third floor at 1806 North Alvarado Street, but you have what is the maintenance of a light source at the Ontario Town Square and its zenith hovering over me while I am speaking to the elements of monitoring, and that was massive demonic activity that was underway under a light source and indirected light captured on March 6, 2022, and that is exactly what is underway here at Alvarado Gardens, and it is impossible that would be the sun, that I would be able to see the sun, and that it would remain here over me, and it's remaining over there at the same time. None of that is occurring under any circumstances. It's not the natural environment, it's the specific environment where the entity is engaging in what is a targeting system, and this is demonic how you're looking at a light source that remains. This is demonic as you're looking at what is impossible and unnatural placement of light. It's engineered light, it's demonic, and it is distinct from the placement of this light source. You've seen the documentation where the absence of this light source is no explanation for the engineered light that you see. It has nothing to do with that. That's also why you see what is on the ceilings, as I documented yesterday. This same pattern that's supposed to be sunlight, but then you're looking at it when I showed you yesterday at 11:44 a.m., the entity that's keeping these patterns of the blinds on the ceiling. All right, there is no iteration of sunlight that's going to result in that. This is demonic. This is what demonic activity looks like. This is a demonic environment. This is what the demonic do. And I want to be clear, the demonic are not just present all around you, engaging in playing I Declare War and playing card games. They're monitoring you. All right, and they're in a demonic environment. And I am highlighting it as you are looking at a whole other venue where the Ontario Police Department, that's the entity that acts via corrupt law enforcement agencies that are group stalking in concert with the people in the specific environment. That's the significance of what I captured on March 6, 2022. And I want to be clear, March 6, 2022 is before daylight savings time was implemented. Daylight savings time does not apply in what is the creation, when you're understanding what is the illusion. Daylight savings time is applying for purposes of adding 1 hour to what would be the time during the day that the sun is out. The sun's not going anywhere. You're looking from 1 hour to the next, and you already know that because from 1 hour to the next, the sun's in the exact same position. This is not the sun, it's a light source. And daylight savings time, I'm speaking to it and I'm addressing it because it doesn't even apply. It doesn't apply in the unnatural environment. So I want to make sure I point that out as well. Under no circumstances will the sun be capable of my being able to capture on video at the same time at any point of day in Los Angeles, while I've already documented it's maintaining presence over me for the duration of the day at a location where I can see it, I'm clearly capturing it on video in Ontario, California at the Ontario Town Square. Okay, and the same goes with the ongoing analysis. At no point can you see through the very exclusive sky space of the Upland Public Library, which I point out in that video, in those videos on March 6, 2022. I can't see through what's going on through the Upland Public Library, that sky space, while it's hovering over Alvarado Gardens. No, you cannot. Okay, this is speaking to what is capturing through documentation where you're able to literally see what it is that I'm describing, because I think even if you use the words to articulate it, it defies what you may be able to or capable of actually understanding. What we've been told about the natural environment is impossible to be the case. This is not the one sun, the natural environment, the operation of the natural environment, and nothing about this light is natural. Okay, there is a specific character to this light, and this light is serving what is a criminal purpose, and those that are in that environment, it's an environment that is maliciously present, supposed to be a surreptitious operation of a state system, and they are engaging in what is criminal. All right, and so this demonic activity is not protected under any religious right. The entity is engaging in what is demonic, and it's criminal in every way. All right, so it's currently, by the way, 11:05 a.m. and as I remain inside of my apartment, I've already captured this. I've also juxtaposed this with the placement of the light source over the Ovid Family Community Library, which, by the way, the sun is not capable of being seen through the back of the Ovid Family Community Library, while at the same time it's hovering in its zenith over the adjacent property of the Ontario Town Square. The same applies. And now you can vividly see it while I'm in Los Angeles. You cannot see the sun through the back of the Ovid Family Community Library, and at the same time, while it's hovering over my head, while I'm standing next to the Ontario Police Department under that light source, and also while I'm in Los Angeles, none of that is happening at the same time. This is the maintenance of a light source that remains over me as I'm subject to and exposing what is the system of federal group stalking and monitoring that the Ontario Police Department were documented on many occasions, including March 6, 2022, and which the Los Angeles Police Department is engaging in while I'm in LA. All right, and that's just because the group stalking is occurring in certain jurisdictions. The state is acting directly via LAPD because I'm in LA County. That's it. It's the same entity. It's the same specific environment, which is impossible to be the natural environment because there's no sun that I'm going to be able to see or capture, nor would remain in alignment to me, let alone over the property. It's not going to be visible for me to capture on video anywhere while it's documented remaining over the Ontario Town Square. Not just at that time, but for the duration of the day. This is P.O.C.